It's a beautiful Friday and welcome to our press review today right here on Luntha television. As I mentioned, it's a beautiful Friday and today we'll also take you through some of the stories appearing in the Nation newspaper and of course the Daily Times. And you're with me, Bridget Manoka, and my colleague here,
Jacqueline Said.
But how are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
You're just fine.
Yes.
But I think I like the weather today. It's a little chilly and some showers here and there, so I think it's gonna be a great day.
Chilly is good, but showers, anyways, we'll see how
Not ideal. Okay, so quickly I'll take you through a story which is appearing on the front page of the Nation newspaper, and a headline reads, "Task Force upbeat on containing cholera." And partly the story reads, "The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and cholera says its first meeting held on Tuesday found that the country is ready to contain the cholera outbreak despite a recent surge in cases." Minister of Health Kumbize Kandodo Chibonda said this yesterday during a press briefing in Lilongwe. She said they are urging councils to lead the way by ensuring sanitation and hygiene.
On the front page of the Daily Times, disaster warning, that's the headline, and this story has a subheadline, Lower Sherry at risk of floods, soldiers, police on standby. These are actually two subheadlines. Part of the story, the Department of Climate Change and Meteorological Services has warned of flash floods, particularly in Chippawa, Nsanje and other lakeshore areas. And in a statement, Department of Disaster Management Affairs Commissioner Charles Kalimba says the flash floods that are likely to affect the mentioned areas will be triggered by heavy rains that occurred between Wednesday and Thursday.
Speaking of disasters, I'll also take you through another one which is also appearing on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Heavy rains cause damage, with two sub-headlines: floods damage M5, M1 makes roads impassable, Med warns of floods in the Lower Shili in other areas. Incessant rains in most parts of the country this week have damaged infrastructure, including roads, and raised fears over flooding. In Nkodakoda district, the rains have damaged the Lakeshore Road, also known as the M5. I think this is not good. And the rain is just starting and then already facing these disasters, I think.
And I think when it comes to Nkodakoda, the road between Nkodakoda Salima and Nkodakoda Kadobi, each and every single rainy season that comes, issues like these always comes up. So,
and I think it's good to be ready.
It is good to be ready, but then also it reflects bad on the people that constructed that road.
Yes.
Because we cannot be doing the same work each and every year all over again.
But I understand there was a bill which was passed in Parliament, the recent sitting, a bill passed on the rehabilitation of the M5 road. I think this time around, if the bill is assented by the President, the road will be properly constructed or rehabilitated.
It was supposed to be properly constructed. We were not supposed to be here talking about it. But, I mean, we're here. Okay, still on the front page, there's a story here. Government sweats to recover Malata subsidy loans. Government continues to sweat to recover loans disbursed under the Decent and Affordable Housing Subsidy Program, also known as Malata Subsidy Project. I don't know. How do you feel about these subsidy projects? There's this Malata subsidy in this, the AIP, and prior to the AIP, there was like the subsidy, the fertilizer subsidy.
Yeah, I think for me, poor Malawians are not benefiting anything from these things. I don't know how best we can go about it, but I think when it comes to the subsidies and whatever, even some of the projects which are being implemented in the country, only the rich or those top officials are benefiting, not the poor Malawians. That's how I look at it. I don't know. What is your comment on that?
Well, I'd say these subsidies, they need to go. We need to start all over, because I think if even fertilizer, let's take an example of fertilizer. No, they're like given coupons. People are given coupons. so that you go and buy the fertilizer and the seed at a lower cost.
Yes.
Yeah. People are failing to do that because what they're doing now, it's like they exchange. You know, they give someone else the money. For example, I don't have a coupon, you have a coupon, or I have a coupon and you don't have a coupon, and I don't have the money. What I do is I give you my coupon so that you buy at a cheaper price, and then you give me some money out of it. It's like the bears, like the benefits of these subsidy programs, projects, they're not being realized.
Yes.
And I feel like as a country, we need to go from this. We need to learn from the past, and I think we need to move away from all this.
And starting all over again.
Yes.
Talking about AIPs, oh God. And I think this year is going to be worse because we're talking of the price of fertilizers right now, and even the AIP. In some parts of the country, there is none of the sort. So I don't know how best we can work on that. By then, I fear there will be hunger next year.
And there won't be hunger, believe it.
Okay, so on the second page of the Nation newspaper, Commit asks MRA to enhance tax evasion fight. And partly the story, Public Accounts Committee, Park of Parliament, has asked Malawi Revenue Authority, MRA, to enhance the fight against tax evasion to ensure that lost revenue is redirected into public coffers. And speaking yesterday, when MRI officials appeared before the committee at Parliament building in Lilongwe to explain issues, public finance management at the tax body, Park Chairperson Mark Borman expressed concern over power borders, which have led to the flourish of cross-border smuggling.
Police welcomes Kawalazi estate investigations. Part of the story, Malawi Police Service has said it is not shaken with investigations to be conducted by Malawi Human Rights Commission into alleged human rights violations between Nkata-based Kawalazi estate officials and community members over estate and boundaries. Malawi Police Service spokesperson Peter Kanaya said law enforcers who are deployed to the estate are always professional, adding that they respect laws when executing their duties.
Moving straight to business, World Bank approves 218 billion kwacha grants and the subtitle Funds to Scale Up National Safety Nets and Transparency. The World Bank has approved 2 International Development Association IDA grants worth $210 million, which is equivalent to 218 billion Malawi kwacha for the country to scale up and strengthen national safety nets. In a statement which was released yesterday, the bank said of the 2 grants, $100 million, which is equivalent to 104 billion kwacha, will finance emergency operations to protect the delivery of essential health services, while $110 million, which is about 114 billion kwacha, will finance operations to scale up and strengthen national safety nets.
Agricultural sector rated poorly in 2022. Farmers' umbrella body, the Farmers Union of Malawi, has rated the 2022 agriculture season poorly, saying the sector's inputs to the national economy is poised to shrink this year. Farmers Union of Malawi says reduced output of Malawi's staple crop, maize, and lower than expected revenue from major cash crops such as tobacco affected the sector's footing. According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security's third round crop estimates released in June 2022, for instance, Malawi's maize output declined by 18.9% in the 2021-2022 farming year, but remains higher than the 5-year average.
I'll take you through one more before we move to international. RBM banks are moved to accelerate bank transfers. Commercial bank customers have started enjoying instant money transfers following introduction of instant electronic funds transfer through National SWIFT to fast-track interbank transactions. The facility, which is funded by the World Bank's Financial Sector Technical Assistance Project, will see all transactions initiated through commercial banks, mobile or internet banking platform processed instantly. Yeah, so we can move on to international news. Should I start? Okay, so Eswatini opposition CSOs strategize against monarchy, and partly the story, opposition parties and civil society organizations, CSOs from Eswatini, on Wednesday adopted a strategy aimed at achieving the abdication of King Mswati III and turning the Southern African country's monarchy into a democracy. South Africa's News 24 reported that the mass democratic movement under the name Swaziland Multi-Stakeholders Forum adopted the Ubuntu Declaration at a two-day gathering in Mbombela in Mpumalanga, that's South Africa.
Okay, if you have any other before we move on to the back.
Okay, I'll take one more, which is all over the internet and of course all over the news. The Gambia falls coup plot arrests for soldiers, and partly the Gambia's government on Wednesday confirmed that it has arrested a military coup attempt people who, okay, I'll take it from the top. The Gambia's government on Wednesday confirmed that it thwarted a military coup attempt and arrested 4 soldiers of the Gambia Armed Forces for plotting to overthrow President Adama Barrow's government. Africa Press Agency quoted the Gambia's government spokesperson, Ebrima, as having claimed that 3 others alleged accomplices were on the run, but did not specify the mastermind of the Thursday's coup attempt against Barrow, who was re-elected last year. I think I've been following this since Wednesday. Kumene ku Gambia wavuta akuti mtsogoleri wa dziko sakumufuna, and I think this is like all over. I think atsogoleri amayiko, they are not delivering to the expectation of the citizens. So it's like the Gambians are tired just 1 year into office on how the president is delivering. So some people, Olimba Mirima, I don't know if we have some in our country, but I'm not like fueling that, but I'm just saying Antwina Mabanga Chiwembu Jolanda Dzigo, so it went on, it didn't go in their favor, so they have been arrested. So that's what is happening in Gambia.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting or sad. Because if things are not going well, financially, economically, or whatever it is,
but that is interesting also, because that means the people, they know what they want, and they are not afraid to go and get that.
Next time they'll do their choices properly.
No, it doesn't work like that. I mean, look at us. Moving on to the back page of the
Daily Times? You wanted to say the Nation newspaper.
Money Machine, that's actually the headline, and there's a sub-headline. LV deal grosses 103.7 million kwacha. Super League clubs to share 40.5 million kwacha. Part of the story, Super League of Malawi, Sulam, has announced that the Imperial Television project grossed 103.7 million kwacha in broadcasting rights for the period between January and November this year. The revenue has surpassed the 100 million target for the entire year. The press release, which Sumom issued yesterday, stated that 67.02 million kwacha was realized through Mpila TV subscription.
Still on local sports, and the back page of the Nation newspaper, Malinika backs his philosophy in the story. Frames coach Mario Malinika has backed his first and very first football philosophy, saying most teams benefited from the strategy at the just concluded FIFA World Cup in Qatar. He claimed that the global showpiece has vindicated him on his belief that possession football is no longer making the difference in modern football. The 57-year-old cited teams such as Japan, Croatia and Morocco as some of the national teams that made a good use of his preferred philosophy, which according to him requires thinking, acting and moving fast.
Well, the second story is actually the last one over the local stories, sports stories. Breaking the record. Part of the story, Malawi national football team started the 2022 on a high after performing beyond expectations. The team wrote its own piece of history by reaching the round of 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations finals in Cameroon. In the build-up to the African finals, which took place in January and February, Football Association of Malawi announced that the then technical director Mario Marinica will lead the team at the finals.
Okay, international sports, Man United being Burnley. It was a good night on Wednesday for Man U fans, and a sad one for some of us because no matter what, we can't support Man U. But moving on, Marcus Rashford wasted no time readjusting to club matters after his World Cup campaign with England as he scored a fine solo goal in Manchester United's EFL Cup with win over Burnley at Old Trafford. Rashford was one of 5 United players on duty in Qatar to make manager Eric Ten Hag's starting lineup, and after one, Christian Eriksen had put the horse ahead just before the half hour with a fine first-time finish after Aaron provided his first goal assist since May 2021.
Well, on the international sports, there's a story here. Pele cancer in advanced state. Part of the story, Brazil great Pele's cancer has advanced according to the hospital where the 82-year-old is being treated. The 3-time World Cup winner has been in hospital for just over 3 weeks. His daughter said on social media that he would spend Christmas in hospital. The hospital Israelita Beit Einstein said Pele presents cancer disease progression and requires greater care related to renal and cardiac dysfunction. I
think we'll finish with some of the stories which are appearing on the Arts and Culture column. Entertainers Promotions Wide Party gets 6.5 million kwacha boost, and events planners Bespoke Events have donated 6.5 million kwacha to Entertainers Promotions EP towards the Wide Party slated for December 31st. Bespoke Events presented the donation yesterday at Amelie's Hotel in Luntha, which is also the venue earmarked for the event. The Wide Party makes a return after a 2-year COVID-19 induced break. It will take place at the hotel's Splash Luftha restaurant.
And I think on a sad development, what do you call his name?
Wallace Chris?
Yes, over at Chalume.
And he just released a new track, I think it was this week. Bam, something like that. And it was also another beautiful piece.
A very, very sad development right here for the entertainment industry here in Malawi. People losing a lot of young artists.
Well, for me, I think something is not adding up because okay, the accident actually involved a bus and a truck, and the only person who died on the spot is him. Some of the passengers just sustained minor injuries.
Wow.
How about that?
When it's your time, it's your time. I don't think we can argue with that. But, okay, in your own words, what do you think is wrong?
Not that I'm insinuating anything,
okay.
But well, okay, let's just pray for his soul to rest in peace. But we will surely miss Wally Chris over Chalume. And when it's a vibe again, onena kuti ndi Christmas zimaenda bwino kabiri ka Chalume kachakanali bwino komabe well, when it's your time,
it's your time. That being said, I think this is the festive season, and a lot of people are influenced by a lot of things: drugs, alcohol, and all the other things that can make us lose our lives. Not that Chalume has been lost to that, but I think.
But then it wasn't his fault because he was not even driving.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is, despite the sad loss of Wally Chris, yes, I think as a people we should also be careful wherever we're going to celebrate this festive season.
And there is a tendency of driving while drunk.
Yes, so let's avoid that, and let's be responsible citizens, so that tomorrow we should be together again, saying a Happy New Year to one another.
Okay, so that will be all from us. I think we have done what we came here for.
Yeah.
And I'll quickly say thank you so much for being there. And today we took you through some of the stories which were in the national newspaper, and of course
The Daily Times.
they're both going at 1,000 kwacha. And you're with me, Bridget Manuka. I'm a colleague here,
Jacqueline Saini.
Continue watching Luntha television, because we still have a number of programs lined up for you. Good morning.